Live from the Lewis Brown Athletic Center, affectionately known as the Rack, on the campus of Rutgers University in Piscataway, New Jersey, the NFHS Network is proud to present the 2018 NJSIAA Boys Basketball Championships. In the first game of our 4 games today, it's the Group 4 Championship between the Red Raiders of Newark Eastside taking on the Renegades of Shawnee. Larry Curtin here alongside Matt Jolas on the call of this Group 4 title game. Newark Eastside got here by beating Hackensack in the semifinals of the Group 4 tournament, 59-48. Shawnee beat Trenton 51-40 to make it to this championship game this afternoon, Matt. And just looking at the way both teams are all set up, one of these teams is looking for a championship. Shawnee played last year, lost to Linden in the championship so far. So right now they have a little bit of some experience getting in here also too. But what's it going to take for both teams to be able to win today?
Well, one thing for Shawnee, especially you mentioned that being here in the championship game last year, they've got that chip on their shoulder. They want that title back. It's been a while. 2001, the last time that Shawnee, 2001, the last time Shawnee won a championship game. This is their 7th appearance in the championship game. But for Newark Eastside, they've got all the spirit, all the passion coming into this game. First time ever in the state championship game, looking to bring home that crown jewel to Newark Eastside. And it's going to be very key for both teams to make sure they play their style. For Shawnee, rotation on the perimeter, making sure they can get their shooters open in the post, able to hit that 3 ball they've been so good at this season, and making sure boxing out on the rebounds. Newark Eastside is a hard-charging team. They're going to try to get inside the lane on them. They're going to have to make sure they force out, be able to get offensive rebounds. For Eastside, keeping the up-tempo that they have run. This is a fast-paced team. They move the ball very quickly. They will get across the timeline very quickly and leave themselves plenty of clock time. Remember, in high school basketball, there is no shot clock, but they will have plenty of game clock to be able to play with if they find themselves in a trouble situation. And it's going to be making sure that they don't let their emotions get the best of them. Don't try to play too hard. Keep yourself out of foul trouble in this game. If they continue to be able to do these things throughout the course of the game today, they will be able to have a very positive result at the end of the day.
Shawnee is led by senior forward Dylan Devaney with 17.9 points a game coming in, as well as his brother Connor Devaney, junior forward, 9.8 points a game. But their biggest player might be the scoring punch of Dean Knoll, senior guard, 21.8 points per game.
Yeah, Dean Knoll has been an absolute star for them all season long, and one of the things you want to do sort of in your last campaign is leave it all on the deck, and he's trying to do just that, leave it all on the deck for the Shawnee Renegades and bring the title back home to Medford.
Shawnee has won 13 in a row and looking to, again, avenge their loss to Linden last year. Going over to the Newark Eastside, the one player I'd like to see is 6'8" senior forward DeAndre Spate, averaging, I got here, 12 points a game. He could be a matchup nightmare for Shawnee, so we'll see what kind of inside presence he has.
The thing for DeAndre Spate and what's been so key for Newark Eastside this season is he is a true two-way player. You will see him get those 12 points per game, but it's also what does he do on rebounds offensively and defensively that continues to drive Newark Eastside's offense.
Also, I want to see Shamir Johnson and Jaheed Jenkins, both senior guards. Johnson averaging 15.8 points per game, and Jenkins 11.6 points per game. So the outside presence, while they may look to go inside the Spade, look outside in the perimeter as well to Johnson and Jenkins.
Right. These are two teams that have so much balance across their rosters on both the offensive and defensive sides and down into the bench as well, that you're going to see one tough game. It's really going to be who can actually run not just their offense in correct form, but be able to run their defense in correct form throughout the day today. You're going to have to play both sides of the court to truly be able to have a victory in this game.
We're going to send them down to the floor for the start of the starting lineups, and looks like the national anthem as well. And we're going to first take a timeout here on the NFHS Network and come back with the start of the game in a moment.
All right, this is Adam, take 2. Mark?
I guess.
I go like this.
The best part about playing football in Texas has to be
the reaction from the community.
I want to encourage others to play volleyball or choir because you get to experience new things and do stuff that you've never done before. My reason why is passion.
My reason why is pride.
You know, the Greek philosopher Aristotle said, you are what you repeatedly do. But in our book, we say you are what you repeatedly do when things get hard. When you look at the naysayers and the haters, and there's a million of them, but you take it upon yourself to erase all doubt. Get that doubt out of here. So my apologies to Aristotle, but excellence doesn't become a habit by running the same path over and over. The excellent ones just step up to the line and ask, what's the record? Under Armour, get your feet straight.
It's easy to spot people who participated in high school sports and activities.
Right on time.
They learned important lessons like leadership, teamwork, respect.
Hey, our meeting moved to 10.
We'll be ready.
Values that last a lifetime.
We need to focus on 3 factors.
Support high school sports and activities in your community. When kids take part, they get set for life.
This event is brought to you by Olive Garden. Olive Garden is proud to be the official dining room of high school sports. With menu choices to please the entire family, as well as to-go and catering options, it's the perfect restaurant for your post-game dining. To find your nearest location or to order your meal online, visit olivegarden.com.
And we're back here on the NFHS Network. We're getting the starting lineups on the floor for both Shawnee and New York Eastside. Great crowd following in here for this Group 4 championship. We got a lot of fans from Shawnee.
A lot of baby blue on the opposite side of the court from where we're sitting. And it's not surprising. Shawnee High School, Medford, New Jersey, about a 50-minute drive south of here in that Cherry Hill, Mount Laurel area. And they always seem to travel regardless of what team it is. I had the fortunate experience of calling Shawnee's state football championship for football this year. And that stadium at Rowan, I think, was predominantly Shawnee. So it is not surprising to see how much baby blue is on the opposite side of the rack court today.
Shawnee also wanted to mention as well, since they were back in this game that they lost last year, they do return the same starting 5 that they had. So they have experience playing this game. Only thing that they did lose 2 starters, Pat Kernan and Sean Haney, to injuries. So we'll see how that impacts Shawnee going here. But knowing that the starting 5 is playing on the same court they played on last year should give them a little bit of an edge.
Yeah, and it'll be also interesting to see. They do have 2 freshmen actually sitting on the bench today who got call-ups, Nick Tamburo and Nate Somerville, and they are actually in the 12 active for the game today for Shawnee. So talk about the experience of Shawnee. You have the youth movement of Shawnee in the future. Getting them some time in a state championship game really shows that they're trying to build something and try to be back in this not just 2, but 3 or 4 or 5 years.
So going to get the opening tip right here between Robinson and Spate. And Shawnee wins the tap right here. And going to put the 3 ball up right away. That's Connor Devaney with the 3.
Cal Devaney immediately from that outside position, perimeter, 3-point shot, just like we talked about in the open.
Amos handing the ball for Eastside. Gives it up to Jenkins. Keeping the ball off the inside presence, going to take it inside now. Jenkins puts up the jumper, no good. Rebounded by Devaney.
And there's that box out inside, getting into the lane immediately, pushing out, getting the offensive rebound. There's a cut right inside.
It's a nice pass right there. Over to Feutner. Shawnee up 5-0. Almost about a minute into this Group 4 championship. Good pass there. And the foul is going to be called on Shawnee on Feutner. Michael Johnson's going to go to the line here for 2 to get Newark on the board. And does so right there. like we're mentioning with Shawnee, with the number of fans here. You got the background of the fans all wearing blue. It's like almost in North Carolina here with that the Tar Heel teal.
It is that same color style, and they are just as boisterous as the Tar Heel fans are.
This is Connor Devaney handling the ball, gives it over to Devin Robinson. Gets the pass up. No good by Dylan Devaney. Eastside tried to take a look there. Ball was lost there by number 4, Jihad Jenkins.
Yeah, and it was immediately Shawnee putting 4 inside, not in the lane, but right on that perimeter line of the lane, and they were able to basically prevent Newark from getting the inside cross.
Remember, no shot clock in the NJSIAA, so Shawnee will try to look for something good here. Plenty of time to look for one. A nice shot there by Devin Robinson.
Devin Robinson wearing the 23 and Nike looking like Michael Jordan.
Very good.
Perfect perimeter shot from behind the college line as well.
And the steal there from Dean Knoll, going with the right hand, scoops it up and in.
If I'm Newark Eastside, I might want to start thinking about taking a timeout. You've got 5 on the board. You're ticking towards the halfway point in this first quarter, but you are starting to fall away.
10-2 now with 2.5 into the first quarter. The lead for the Renegades from Shawnee from Medford, New Jersey.
Shawnee playing that 2-3 zone, absolutely nothing inside, and a travel called. They are not letting them get the back door at all today. They cannot get to the byline.
Right, DeAndre Spade call for the travel there. Looks like a soft press that Shawnee was putting on there, trying to confuse Eastside about where to bring the ball inside. It looked like they were trying to get the ball in, but nowhere to go. Here's Devaney giving it off to Robson, and the pass to Devaney, and it looked like he stepped out of bounds. Actually, the steal was from Shamir Johnson, who stepped out, so Shawnee will keep the ball underneath their basket.
Yeah, you were talking about that soft press, and one of the things that Shawnee was doing great in that is getting high hands, making sure that the visibility is blocked. And so it was preventing Newark Eastside from really being able to see the whole floor. They were basically blinding them.
This is Devaney giving it up to Knoll. Looked like the double was coming up to Knoll. Now he's bringing the ball back up and gives it out to Robinson for 3, and he hits it! The second 3 of the quarter. Shawnee with an 11-point lead, 13-2. This is Johnson, who missed. Rebound by, that's Dean Knoll right there. Gives it up to the corner to Dylan Devaney, who hits the 3.
And there's the timeout call finally. 14-point difference, 16-2. Third straight three-pointer, and again, 2 from the top of the key on the perimeter, 2 from the post. They are getting those outside shots that we talked about in the open.
So 16-2, Shawnee up over Newark Eastside. We're going to take a break here on NFHS Network. Be back with more Group 4 championships here in Piscataway in a moment.
All right, this is Adam. Take 2. Mark?
I guess.
I go like this.
The best part about playing football in Texas has to be the reaction from the community.
I want to encourage others to play volleyball or choir because you get to experience new things and do stuff that you've never done before. My reason why is passion.
My reason why is pride.
You're watching the NJSIAA State Championship games on the NFHS Network. Tune in all day long today to catch all of the action from today's games at Rutgers and all future NJSIAA State Championship games.
New York trying to figure something out here. Newark Eastside down by 14 to Shawnee, 16-2. Just about halfway through the first quarter here in this Group 4 championship. And a jump ball is called. And the possession will go to Shawnee, looks like, or it's going to stay with Eastside, rather.
Shawnee, you talked about that press defense and just locking up. That was a deflected shot.
Johnson was trying to get the foul call from the referee, but no call. And the crowd back there letting him hear it. And once again, Dylan Devaney with a 3 from NBA range.
That was from another zip code. Dylan Devaney is on.
As we talked about in the pregame, Matt, the fact that these 5 guys played here last year, they know what it's about, so they're looking to avenge last year's loss. Tough shot there by Kieran Williams, and the rebound back to Shawnee.
The one thing this lead does for Shawnee is allow them to settle back, allow them to basically just run the floor, play the game. They don't have to have pace because they don't have that shot clock to worry about. Ball movement on the perimeter is going to be everything.
Newark trying to pressure the ball a little bit, but they're going to get called for a foul. It looks like a trip was called on Honest Amos. Surprisingly, it's a second foul of the half. Both teams have 1 foul apiece. So the referees are letting them play so far.
The game's been so spread out on the court there hasn't been a lot of man-to-man where you see fouls occur.
Almost 3 guys on the ball that time, but they go back. Newark a little confused about who they're playing. They are in a man. This is Dino giving it back to Dylan Devaney, and a scoop pass over to Devin Robinson, and he'll go to the line. Foul was on Karan Williams. Robinson right now 6 points on with 2 threes. Looking to add to that right here at the line. Makes the first. Any surprise at all that they had this 18-point lead early on?
A little bit of surprise. I mean, we know how good Shawnee is. We know how good they are from the perimeter, so we expected to see 3 balls come from them. But everything's dropping, and Newark is just off. And again, a shot right off of the rim.
That was Hassan Sese with that missed 3, but they get the rebound back inside. And they'll draw the foul and head to the line. Looked like DeAndre Spate was on the inside presence of that one. And Cade Feudner picks up the foul. That's actually his second foul. So the only thing not going Shawnee's way is 2 fouls on Feudner.
And that's actually Newark's only 2 points were on free throws.
Spate misses the first. Drew Brennan will check into the game for Shawnee. And Spate misses the second one. He gets his own rebound. And they'll start back up. Trying to get something good here, trying to go inside. Little contact there. Johnson can't make the basket, and the rebound by Dylan Devaney. So bringing the ball up towards half court as well. Get the ball across. Here is Devaney again for 3.
Another NBA range 3 from Dylan Devaney, and his points per game average might be hit in this first quarter.
And that foul is going to go against Shawnee once again. Beyond Dean Knoll, that's his first, the team third.
And it's a blocking foul on the floor, so it's going to be possession on the baseline for Newark Eastside.
Looks like if Newark Eastside wants to get back in this, they'd have to really be aggressive, draw the foul. As that's a long-range shot there from Karen Williams, and that's Newark Eastside's first field goal of the game.
First anything from the floor today. 3-point field goal, everything.
23-5, about a minute and a half left to go here in the first quarter.
In high school basketball, with having 8-minute quarters and sometimes pace of play, you would expect to see a team hit 23 at halftime, not in the first quarter. They're on right now like an 80, 90-point pace.
No, gets the pass across. This is Robinson. And the rebound there by Hassan Sese. Spin move there by Amos. Gets it across over to Jenkins for 3 in the corner. No good. Tough rebound across. And the ball is off Newark Eastside.
but the body position of Dylan Devaney, knowing that he's following the shot immediately from the slide, switched himself in front of the New York East Side player. That's what we were talking about when we said boxing out on rebounds.
This Connor Devaney handling the ball out to
Dylan Devaney.
Dylan Devaney once again. He has 11 points in this first quarter.
Brother to brother, and they have probably played that on their driveway so many times over the years.
Dribble drive, that time for Amos, and he draws contact on the foul. And Devaney picks up his first foul. So this is going to be the 5th and 6th appearance at the free throw line for Eastside as Amos hits that first one. So making contact, getting to the line is Shawnee has 14 fouls. And anything down by 19 points is helping Eastside get a little closer, even though they're still a long way from getting anywhere close in this game right now.
Yeah, and head coach Joe Kessler on the sideline for Shawnee, a little bit animated with the referees on that last foul call because Devaney did have his hands completely up in the air, so he's not checking on the body, but they're still calling that blocking foul.
Shawnee could hold for one here if they like, as they'll just spread the ball right around half court. A little catch game between Knoll and Devaney. 12 seconds left to go in the first quarter. A bounce pass to Devaney. Dribbles it over to Connor Devaney. Gets it over to D. Knoll. Knoll with the little look at the free throw line, no good. And that's the end of the first quarter. Nice start by Shawnee, up 25-7 over New York East Side in this Group 4 championship here at Rutgers University. We're going to come back for the start of the second quarter right here. You're watching the Group 4 championships on the NFHS Network.
Just a reminder, kids who participate in high school activities tend to go a little farther than those who don't. Take part. Get set for life.
And we're back here on the NFHS Network for the NJSIAA Boys Basketball Championships here at Rutgers University. The Shawnee Renegades up big right now, 25-7 over the Red Raiders of Newark East Side. Dylan Devaney so far with 11 points leading Shawnee. Devin Robinson with 7 points, and only one field goal for Newark East Side in the last quarter. Devaney actually went 4 of 5 from the field and actually made all 3 of his threes, so he was 7 of 8 from the floor in that first quarter. Shawnee starts the second quarter. Giving the ball inside. Goes out to the corner. Air ball there at that time by that was Drew Brennan. And nice inside presence from Amos as he dribble drives and puts it in.
Hassan Amos 2 for 2 from the free throw line in that first quarter. Now 1 for 1 from the field goals.
Good look there from Dean Knoll. Foul line jumper. And extends the lead once again back to 18. Once again, Shawnee in a 2-3 press. Little floater that time from Caron Williams, puts it in. Amos getting a piece of that ball, and Knoll recovers, brings it back into the front court. Tight man-to-man here from East Side, trying to look for a steal. Cross-court pass to Devaney. His shot was blocked. Gets it back, and they're going to call a jump ball. And the possession will go back to East Side. Now checking in for Shawnee is number 3, Ryan Haney. Newark trying to slowly inch their way back here, down 27-11, just about a minute and a half into the second quarter. It's Karen Williams giving the ball over to Jahi Jenkins, dribble drive, and he puts it in. So Newark Eastside has hit their first 3 field goals of the second quarter, and the lead is up to 14. As Noel with the pass over to Devaney, loses the ball, and Eastside gets it back. So a bit of a momentum swing right now going on Eastside.
Completely flipped. I mean, they've basically been able to cut this lead into half now with 6 minutes left in the second. After going 2 for 12 in the first quarter, they've now hit their first 3 straight.
This is Jahi Jenkins with the 3 ball. So just like that, after only making 1 field goal in the first quarter, they hit their first 4 here in the second quarter.
And maybe it was just jitters. Maybe it was nerves of being in a state championship game. First time you're playing in a college Big Ten arena of all places at Rutgers University, and all the history of basketball here. You got to figure it out sometimes.
Devaney misses that shot. And the dribble
drive. Play and 1.
Amos, nice drive that time.
Anas Amos has all of a sudden woken up and come to fire for Newark Eastside.
Newark's on an 11-2 run to start this second quarter, and with that, Coach Joe Kessler of Shawnee will call a timeout, trying to avenge what has been a good first quarter. It's going to be a 30-second timeout. We're going to keep it here. But I tell you, the break in between the first and second quarter, a big difference right now for Eastside.
Yeah, I mean, I was just going through the numbers here on the stat sheet and looking at it. Newark Eastside, 2 for 12 from the floor in the first quarter. They basically shot 12.5%. You look at all of a sudden here in the second quarter, and they're shooting 100%. It is a completely different game. But Newark Eastside now has also changed the dynamic of what they're doing. They were trying to go from the outside perimeter, trying to get from the post position in. They realized they're not going to do that against Shawnee. Switch, top of the key. They're going right down the center of the lane. Shawnee's still trying to block to the outside, and they're leaving the lane wide open, and we're seeing paint drive.
Right. So this is the closest it's been since the opening minutes of the first quarter, as the lead for Shawnee has been cut down to 9. And Amos looking to complete the and 1, cut it down back to 8. Misses that one. He gets his, well, it looked like he almost got his own rebound, but the rebound was taken by Johnson. And the 3 ball that time from Karen Williams. We got ourselves a ball game now. It's 27-21.
Absolutely incredible, the dynamic change that Newark Eastside did in that quarter break. They have completely changed what they're doing, and you look at how they're playing defensively too.
That's a nice block that time from Mika Johnson Jr.
No more man. They've switched to a 2-3, and they're high pressing.
Dylan Devaney, who had 11 points in that first quarter, has been shut down. He looks like the defense has gotten to his head. And his switch to the zone has helped the cause for Eastside, but that time Dean Knoll breaks the string right there and gets Shawnee back up by 8, 29-21. Amos once again gets it up to Mika Johnson Jr., who puts the ball in.
It's kind of crazy to think that we were sitting at 21-2 at one point, and here we are at 29-23, halfway left to go in this second quarter.
This is Dean Knoll just above the foul line. No good. Rebound that time from Cisse. Amos leaded the charge. Gets it over to Williams for 3!
College level.
Karen Williams has 12 points so far. And it's a 3-point game.
I think I'm going to run out of adjectives by the end of this first half.
So far, a tale of 2 quarters, and we're not even through the second quarter yet. Little momentum shift that time, and the foul is going to be called on Mika Johnson Jr.
Shawnee needs to control the ball a little bit better. They're starting to put it up high over their shoulder. It's allowing Newark Eastside to try to tip against them. Got called for the reach that time. Bring it back into the center of their body.
Looks like it's a pretty heavy full court, half court press here that Eastside is putting up. And Shawnee not able to find anything good so far, as they were able to do easily in the first quarter. As Noel controls the ball, tries to get it over the cross to Feutner, and Feutner lost it. And here's Amos going up, and he loses the ball himself. And it looks like it did go off his hands, and it did. So a nice aggressive drive from Anis Amos, but unfortunately was not able to hold on.
One thing of definite difference you can see is Newark Eastside on defense. Look at how they're protecting the box. They are basically putting 4 around side the lane, almost what Shawnee was doing to them in the first quarter, and we see how it's preventing Shawnee's offense now.
Devaney lost the ball. Like it was actually called for a carry. So a turnover for Shawnee. With 3 minutes left to go here in the second quarter. Shawnee still up by 3. And a drive and the right-handed scoop by Cisse.
29-28, who would have thought we'd be here?
New York really playing up to the man close, not giving Shawnee any space at all. Trying to put the ball up. He does and misses. And it looks like the foul is going to be called on Eastside. It's going to be on Shamir Johnson.
2 guys trying to go up for the rebound, body to body. He just came down, hands right on top of the arm of the player, not the ball. So gets the foul called.
Connor Devaney passing it over to D. Knoll. Once again, trying to slow the tempo down, trying to look for something good. Robinson here, back to Knoll. Trying to find Devaney, but he gets it to his brother, the other Devaney. And rebound that time to Cisse. Drive there by Johnson, no good. And ball looked like it went off of Kane Feutner. And Newark keeps the ball.
And a bench warning to the Newark Eastside coach. He has been creeping further and further and further up the line as the first quarter went on, and then even further into the second quarter. The coaches have to remember there is a coaching box in basketball. They have to be behind that white line. They can kind of creep up to that black line, but they're not going to get much past that. And here's Newark Eastside with their first lead of the game at 30-29 with a minute 45.
That was Jahid Jenkins. Newark has 2 coaches. I want to actually add Anthony Tavares and Bryant Garvin. So it looked like Tavares was the one that was called for the warning to stay behind that white line on the sideline. 1:30 left to go here in the second quarter. And Shawnee now down by 1. Didn't think it was going to happen at this point in the game. But that time, Newark Eastside called for the foul. That was on Jahid Jenkins. Nobody in foul trouble for Eastside. Shawnee will take it off the sideline. And now we're going to get a foul. Looks like it's on Dylan Devaney.
Yeah, and he's got to be very careful that he didn't get called for a technical there, because you cannot push off like that before the inbound of play.
And that's Devaney's second foul. And after scoring 11 points in that first quarter, he's going to come out here. Jonathan Searcy will check in for Devaney. As after what would some call an easy first quarter for Devaney, got into his head, hasn't scored anything since.
Yeah, and you see it in the frustration right there, committing a foul like that on the inbound. You had your team with the possession.
Jumper that time, in and out. Around the basket for Jenkins. I got a minute to go now. Shawnee trying to get the lead back. Noel trying to get the ball across, but he was stripped by Amos and then eventually called for the foul. And that's Noel's second foul. That puts Eastside on the line with the 1-and-1. A lot of hype for Shawnee coming into this game with the 5 starters coming back, and looked like they were showing that in the first quarter. But ever since then, they've only scored 4 points in this quarter, so it hasn't really helped their cause. And Devaney comes just back in. I guess Coach Joe Kessler didn't want to take any more chances. Said, we need you in there with the 2 fouls. As Amos misses the back end of the 1-and-1. Newark has a 2-point lead, 31-29. Here is Robinson. Gets it off to Feutner. Inside to Devaney. Double clutching, no good. Rebound and the tap in from Noel. Inside.
Tie ball game with 30 seconds left to go. Honors even. And the Shawnee fan base back into this game now, finally. There was a bit of a look of consternation on their face.
Amos taking time here at half court, just wait for the final 12 seconds to be counted down to look for something good. Now he will start to bring the ball in, gets it over to Jenkins. Jenkins cuts into the paint, gets it over to Cini, loses the ball. Here is Noel from half court, puts up the shot, off the side of the rim, no good. And what an incredible first half. I have to say for both teams in a sense. First quarter belonged to Shawnee, second quarter belonged to Newark.
And yeah, and at least you're at honors even here because they're sitting at 31-31 going into the second half. So we've played 16 minutes of basketball, 16 minutes left to go, and you're sitting at start over again.
So both teams are reset, and we're back to even. 31-31 here at halftime at the rack for this Group 4 championship. We're going to take a break here on the NFHS Network. This is the Group 4 NJSIAA Championships. Boys basketball right here on the rack. We'll be back in just a few moments.
William Shakespeare said that all the world's a stage and men and women are merely players. But Mr. Shakespeare never met Stephen Curry. Ni hao, the guy who was in the gym every dang day. Patron saint of the underdog, the league's most unguardable player. Bang, he knocks it down. So my apologies to Mr. Shakespeare, because onto the stage of mere players enters the babyface assassin. And he's about to write his own story. Fall back.
This is Adam, take 2. Mark?
I guess.
I go like this.
The best part about playing football in Texas has to be the reaction from the community.
I want to encourage others to play volleyball or choir because you get to experience new things and do stuff that you've never done before. My reason why is passion.
My reason why is pride.
You know, the Greek philosopher Aristotle said, you are what you repeatedly do. But in our book, we say you are what you repeatedly do when things get hard. When you look at the naysayers and the haters, and there's a million of them, but you take it upon yourself to erase all doubt. Get that doubt out of here. So my apologies to Aristotle, but excellence doesn't become a habit by running the same path over and over. The excellent ones just step up to the line and ask, what's the record? Under Armour, get your feet straight.
Just a reminder, kids who participate in high school activities tend to go a little farther than those who don't. Take part. Get set for life. It's easy to spot people who participated in high school sports and activities.
Right on time.
They learned important lessons like leadership, teamwork, respect.
Hey, our meeting moved to 10.
We'll be ready.
Values that last a lifetime.
We need to focus on 3 factors.
Support high school sports and activities in your community. When kids take part, they get set for life.
This event is brought to you by Olive Garden. Olive Garden is proud to be the official dining room of high school sports. With menu choices to please the entire family, as well as to-go and catering options, it's the perfect restaurant for your post-game dining. To find your nearest location or to order your meal online, visit olivegarden.com.
Coaches teach your kids to dream. Coaches teach your kids to overcome. Coaches teach your kids good sportsmanship. Coaches teach your kids proper technique. But who teaches your coaches?
Shakespeare said that all the world's a stage, and men and women are merely players. But Mr. Shakespeare never met Stephen Curry. Ni hao, the guy who was in the gym every dang day. Patron saint of the underdog, the league's most unguardable player. Bang, he knocks it down. So my apologies to Mr. Shakespeare, cause onto the stage of mere players enters the babyface assassin. And he's about to write his own story. Fall back.
This is Adam, take 2. Mark?
I guess.
I go like this.
The best part about playing football in Texas has to be the reaction from the community.
I want to encourage others to play volleyball or choir because you get to experience new things and do stuff that you've never done before. My reason why is passion.
My reason why is pride.
Back with here on the NFHS Network with Terry Collins from It's All About Sports, doing a little halftime show, and what an amazing game. That was a tale of 2 completely different quarters. Shawnee leads 25-7 at the end of the first quarter, and we think we're on our way to about a 90-point average from them in a potential blowout game. Instead, we're sitting here at honors even 31-all at the end of the half.
Yeah, it's very unbelievable first half of basketball. In that first quarter we seen where Shawnee was pretty much unconscious from behind the three-point line. And I think that they had no sense of even missing in that first quarter. I believe they hit 6 or 7 three-pointers. I know Davion Robinson and the Davini brothers shot very well. So And then, like you mentioned, a tale of two quarters. The second quarter, who would think Newark Eastside, after taking that punch, would be able to come back and match? And I think what they were able to do in that second quarter was get some good drives to the basket and playing aggressive. The point guard, the guard play was amazing in that second quarter, which I think changed the game. So,
did the change in defense for Newark Eastside really also help them as well? We noticed that they were playing a lot of man coverage early in that first quarter and then changed to almost a 2-3 zone, a little bit of a high press zone in that second quarter, and it was preventing Shawnee from being able to run that perimeter play that they're very much used to. How much did that actually help them out?
Well, I think that definitely changed perspective for them defensively, and it also opened up things for them offensively with getting some rebounds and getting out in transition. Like I said, with the guards, stepping up and making some big baskets. And I think what we've seen is actually Shawnee becoming frustrated in that second quarter. We've seen where they got a push off of the inbounds, I think, by Devaney. He picked up an offensive foul before the ball was even in play. And like I said, I think that kind of summed up that second quarter for Shawnee, where we've seen frustration. So,
yeah, they definitely are going to need to keep their head in check in the second quarter. Really quickly, what do each team have to do to be able to get this thing done?
Well, I think Shawnee just has to get his cool back. I think, like I said, with riding the wave of the energy and the crowd, which kind of looks almost like a home game for Shawnee right now. I think they rode that wave, and when Newark took their best punch and came back, I think, like I said, after the frustration, they were a little bit shell-shocked. So I think they got to just calm down, settle in, get back to playing Shawnee basketball, looking for maybe a little more inside play versus now taking the three-pointers. And, again, Newark Eastside, again, they didn't back down, and I think they're going to have to continue to play, like you said, the zone defense, take away that three-point shot. And then, again, if the guard play can continue strong, and they also as well got some good looks behind the three-point line that helped lead them to that comeback. So I think we're in for a great game, and this is the type of game that you hope to see when you come here to the rack. So
yeah, absolutely. All right, Terry, thank you very much. We're going to kick it over here to the second half of play. Good luck to you guys, and we'll see you on the flip side.
Same here.
It's easy to spot people who participated in high school sports and activities.
Right on time.
They learned important lessons like leadership, teamwork, respect.
Hey, our meeting moved to 10.
We'll be ready.
Values that last a lifetime.
We need to focus on three factors.
Support high school sports and activities in your community. When kids take part, they get set for life.
And we're back here at the rack for the Group 4 Boys Basketball Championships here on the NFHS Network, the NJSIAA Championships between Shawnee and Newark Eastside. 31-31 is the score coming in as we start the second half. An incredible turn of events between both Newark and Eastside. Rather, Eastside coming back, being down 25-7 and outscoring Shawnee 24-6 in the second quarter as Devaney loses the ball on a bad pass that time from Devin Robinson. So the momentum, once again, is on Eastside's, basically on their side, on the Eastside side. The way things have been going right now, momentum has been shifted to Newark.
Yeah, and we talked about the very large and the usually very boisterous crowd of Shawnee, and this place has almost gone pin silent.
And some contact there, and Devaney's going to pick up his third foul. Body to body, a little bit of a questionable call that time. He went straight up. He's even telling the ref that he put his hands up. And looking at the replay, looked like it's a bit of a question there, Matt.
Yeah, that's one of those ones where you kind of wave your head at and just go, okay, moving on.
Hassan Cisse at the line here now puts Newark back up by 1. So if you're Coach Joe Kessler, with one of your better players, with 3 fouls right now, just barely 30 seconds into the second half, scored 11 points in the first quarter, got shut out in the second. What are you going to do? You're just going to keep him in there and just hope for the best? I mean, he had that turnover to start the second half as well.
You've got a lot of time still left to play, but you might want to think about just pulling him aside, maybe sit him down even just for a one-possession run. Sit him down and just say, hey, look, settle yourself. If they're going to call the game this way, change what you're doing and try to find another place to play on the court.
Kessler letting the referee know about that call as well, as Dean Knoll puts the shot up, no good. Rebound by Amos, and he gets fouled. Not a smart play that time.
We know that they're calling blocks. We know that they're calling reaches. You're going to have to go back to boxing out on the rebound. They're allowing Newark Eastside to now beat them inside, so they're trying to come at rebounds from behind, whereas they were coming at them from in front of the player in the first half.
So that's Kane Feudner's third foul. So 2 guys on the floor for the Renegades with 3 fouls. Long distance shot that time is good from Shamir Johnson. Newark now extends their lead, biggest lead of the game for them, 36-31.
He looked like he almost shot that from Newark. He was over right on the edge of the red.
This is Devaney, Connor Devaney, missing on the 3, rebound by Jenkins. Amos, nice scoop, nice pass, nice look. No good from Johnson. And it's out of bounds off of Newark.
Shawnee is now all of a sudden all over the place, both on the offensive and defensive side. They are completely split on the offensive side, where they are allowing Newark Eastside to cut inside and get these defensive rebounds. And then on the defensive side, they're opening up the post and allowing Newark Eastside to run inside on the back door.
Turnaround jumper for Robinson, no good. This is Dylan Devaney, no good. Rebound by Robinson, puts it up and one. Foul was called on Hassan Cisse. Devin Robinson will here for the finish of the 3-point play, but he's not able to make that. Another telling fact from the first half, actually the first quarter for Shawnee, was they made 6 of 7 3-pointers, but haven't made one since. Corner jumper that time, no good. Rebound by Robinson. 36-33, Newark with the lead. Dino trying to look for something. Now he gets it into Dylan Devaney. He gets fouled. Foul was on Michael Johnson. That's his second. And Devaney, who has not scored since the first quarter, is going to try to put some points up here, as the first free throw is no good. And Karen Williams will check in for Eastside. And Devaney makes the back end of the 2 shots. Gets Shawnee within 2, 36-34. Eastside trying to slow the pace down here as Amos slowly brings it up the court. Gives it up to Williams. Corner out to Johnson. Puts up the 3 ball off the side of the backboard. No good. Rebound by Johnson. And then Johnson puts the ball back in.
A little bit of a circus swing shot from underneath. One-man high press. Newark Eastside is not letting them get in quick.
And Knoll lost the ball, but it went off of Amos's hand, so the ball will stay with Shawnee. So far, some even basketball. Both teams trying to set the tempo. And the football pass that time all the way to the other side. Knoll catches and will slowly bring it into the front court. They also did that in the first half as well one time. They're trying to slow the tempo down a little bit and set up something good. As that time the steal, deflection by Johnson gets it into Cisse, and the right-handed layup is good. 40-34 now, Eastside up. Inside to Robinson, out to Devaney from the corner. No good. Rebound that time from Feudner, and put back by Robinson. And with that, Shawnee will actually take a timeout. And we'll keep it here as they call a 30-second timeout.
Just remember that you can order a copy of today's game on the NFHS Network website. Just click the Buy a DVD or Buy Now button featured on your video player and keep a copy of the action from this game and all of today's games, plus past championships from the seasons gone by, all available on NFHSnetwork.com/NJSIAA.
Newark Eastside in the first quarter only made 1 field goal. Second quarter, they made 10 field goals. Something had to turn around in that in-between quarter session on the bench.
Yeah, and it's interesting because you talked about how Shawnee returning the 5 players who got them to this game last year, and they lost in this game to Linden. Newark Eastside beat Linden in the tournament, getting on their way to this game. And they also have to think about, for the coaches, how much did they watch of last year's Linden-Shawnee game to figure into, well, we know what Linden can do. Shawnee's got to be pretty close to this, and put it into the context of what they're doing today.
Yeah, Newark Eastside beat Linden 57-52 to win the North 2 Group 4 championship back on March 5th.
This is the one thing I love about no shot clock. He's just going to sit here. As long as he continues to bounce the ball, he can sit there for as long as he wants to.
Shawnee crowd is getting a little restless by the New York East side is actually cheering this right now. Just trying to slow the tempo down in no rush with a 4-point lead. Now they're finally it over. It looks like the Shawnee crowd, the students in the student section, counting the number of seconds that Shawnee's holding on to the ball like they have their own personal shot clock. And once again, Amos is slowing the pace down. So thinking that Newark was going to play more of a fast-paced tempo, now they do kind of what Shawnee's been doing, playing more of a slower pace.
Exactly, and it's almost reminiscent of. And we were talking about different teams during the time leading into the broadcast, and UConn women a long time ago, before there was a shot clock in NCAA women's basketball, and Gino Ariema running the stacks play.
CC actually went to the basket that time. No good. Devaney got the rebound, so now Shawnee will probably play with a little more urgency. They want to get back into this game down by 4, 2 minutes to go in the third quarter. Devaney gets it over to Robinson. Robinson posting up. Gets it over to Connor Devaney from 3 ball, and he nails it. And we do have a 1-point game now, 40-39.
And that is huge to kick back your momentum with just a mid-40 left here in the third. It's got the Shawnee student section back into this.
Amos will pull up from top of the key. Long-range jumper, no good. Rebound by Devaney.
Shawnee switched. Again, getting the bodies back to inside the lane, going back to what they did in the first quarter. Look at Devaney on run.
Nice dribble drive from Devaney, taking it all in, putting Shawnee back up by 1. Here's Amos dribbling over. Looked like he got away with a travel, but no, referee was right on top of that. You can see it clear as day from up here at our broadcast position.
Someone in Shawnee just flipped a switch, because all of a sudden they have gone right back to doing what they did in the first quarter. They are back inside the paint, boxing out. They are moving the ball. They are preventing Newark Eastside from getting the perimeter. I don't know what in the world happened in the last 8 minutes. They went to bed.
They just said, let's just reset here. DeAndre Spate trying to get the ball that time, poked out of bounds. Shawnee will keep it in front of us here with just about a minute to go here in the third quarter. And the steal that time from Williams, he gets fouled. Going to be on Connor Devaney. So again, aggressive press that East Side put together. Got the foul, and we'll get the ball here with a minute to go. Down by 1 rather. But that time, no. Row reversal. Gets a deflection steal, loses the ball. And it put in by Feudner. Shawnee back up by 3, 43-40. This is Jenkins from the corner. No good. Rebound. No rebound that time. And let's see, the referees trying to figure out who went off. It's going to stay with Eastside. Just about 39 seconds to go here in the third quarter. This is Jahee Jenkins, and he's going to be called for steps.
Shawnee smartly doubling in, seeing that he was just going to try to make a run, an end-around run. Doubled in, boxed him out.
Well, 30 seconds to go. Shawnee up by 3.
Eastside's trying to go back into that man again, and it's allowing Shawnee to be able to move the ball.
Dino will take it up here with 12 seconds to go, being heavily guarded by Amos. Gets a spin and draws the foul.
All over him.
So while Amos is a little trying to get the steal that time, unfortunately called for the foul with 7.6 to go here in the third. This is no little trouble on that inbounds pass. We'll get it inside, drive the basket. No good on the tip by Feudner. And a little heave that time, no good from east side. And we're going to go to an interesting fourth quarter here. Shawnee up 43-40 here in the Group 4 NJSIAA Boys Championship basketball game here at the RAC. We're going to take a break here on the NFHS Network. We'll be back with the fourth quarter in a moment.
Olive Garden delivers the final moments. Bring home Italian favorites and they'll cheer for you on game day. Olive Garden is the official dining room of high school sports, and with the new catering delivery service, you never have to miss a moment.
Coaches teach your kids to dream. Coaches teach your kids to overcome. Coaches teach your kids good sportsmanship. Coaches teach your kids proper technique. But who teaches your coaches?
Larry Kearney back here with Matt Jolis for the Group 4 NJSIAA Boys Basketball Championship. Shawnee up by 3 heading into the fourth quarter. And Matt, you got some scores from the girls' side of the championships.
Yeah, girls' championships games down at R.W. Barnabas in Toms River, New Jersey. And it was University leading Bound Brook 33-22 at the half in the Group 1 girls' games. We'll keep you updated on all the action going on down there as well as we progress through our 4 games today, 4 games down there.
So Newark Eastside will start the quarter with the ball. And steps that called from on DeAndre Spate.
DeAndre Spate on a pogo stick there, up, down, and the referee standing right in front of him going, nope, not going to do it.
And, of course, the Shawnee crowd lets them know that as well.
Immediately with the "you can't do that" chant right in front of the Shawnee fan section.
There's Connor Devaney with the ball. Gets over to Devin Robinson. Robinson from beyond the three-point line, trying to look for an inside presence over to Devaney. Looks like Devaney trying to find his brother. There's a bit of a mismatch there between Devaney and Amos. Feutner now back pass to Robinson. Robinson gets over to Devaney, and foul's going to be called. And it's going to be on Anus Amos. That's going to be his third foul. Eastside has 4 fouls here in the second half. Here is Devaney from 3. No good. Rebound, Feutner. Nope, he did not control it. Amos gets it off. A little bit of trouble there that time. And Spate will go to the line.
Look how much of pace Newark Eastside has picked up all of a sudden in this second quarter, then again in the third, and now hear how fast they're running in the start of the fourth. They want to put pressure on Shawnee, tire them out, make them have to go to the bench, and then slow it down and just try to kick time off the clock.
Kane Feutner picked up the 4th foul for Shawnee that time, so he will come out. And checking in will be Ryan Haney. Spate makes the second one as Eastside trails by 1 minute into this fourth quarter here in the Group 4 championships. Noel being guarded by Amos. Devaney playing right behind him. Noel with the spin, and he draws the foul. And it is going to be called on Anis Amos. That's his 4th foul.
And so now we talk about teams and foul people getting into foul trouble, and got to be careful here.
Amos questioning if he was actually going to be going to the bench, but Coach Anthony Tavares keeps him in there. Here's Devaney. Inside, can't control the ball, is called for steps.
For Newark Eastside, Anis Amos having 4 fouls is a little bit troubling for them because he has been so progressive through the course of this game in their offense. If they lose him, it's going to be a big loss.
Heath Jenkins with the turnaround. No good. Rebounded by Noel.
A little surprised there wasn't an offensive foul called there.
Noel dribble and drive inside the paint. Can't make the basket. And that's going to be the 4th foul for Dylan Devaney.
So the 2 big men on each side now, 4 fouls apiece with 6:10 left in this fourth.
And looks like they're going to keep Devaney in the game right now with 4 fouls. The championship on the line here. Have to be very careful here. Amos drives in. Actually makes contact with Devaney. Didn't want to pick up that 5th foul. And Spate put the ball in. And now Newark up by 1, 44-43.
And high press again out of Newark Eastside, trying to prevent Shawnee from having open court space.
And a foul away from the ball.
Yeah, Karen Williams getting called for the reach there.
2nd foul on Williams. So next foul will put Shawnee on the line as Newark does have 6. Cross-court pass over to Haney. This is Devaney, dribble drive with the left hand and in.
45-44. This is kind of what you expect out of a state championship game.
Absolutely. Amos had contact that time, looking for the foul, but no call made. The ball did go off of Devon Robinson. And now Dylan Devaney will come out of the game with the 4 fouls being replaced by Jonathan Searcy.
And Karen Williams coming out of the game as well, too, for Eastside.
And the steal that time from Dean Knoll. And Shamir Johnson with the steal. Connor Devaney was not able to handle that. Dribble drive.
Blocking foul.
That's going to be on Dean Knoll. That's going to be his 3rd foul. So both teams going to be in the bonus on the next foul. And Shamir Johnson will shoot 2 here. Makes the 1st. And just like that, Dylan Devaney back in the game. Along with Kane Feudner, both with 4 fouls here, Matt.
Yeah, this is where you get to that point of starting to just roll the dice, making sure that these guys know, don't do anything you don't need to do. Just check the boxes on our business list.
So Johnson makes 2, puts Newark back up by 1, 46-45. Here is Knoll. Trying to set a play up here. He's got both Devaney brothers near the top of the key. Now Connor moves over to the corner. Noel being pressed by Williams. Gets it over to Devaney. Here's Feutner. Feutner tries to get it across. The ball was kicked by Cisse. And Jaheed Jenkins will check back in for Eastside. And Amos is going to come out with the 4 fouls. Give him a little bit of a breather, possibly for the last 2 minutes of the game.
Yeah, he didn't even take a seat on the bench, just squatted right there, which means he's going right back in.
Yep, he's already checked in at the scores table. A little bit of a issue that time on the pass. Here's Connor Devaney. Switching hands. Crowd wanted to travel. Here's Noah from the free throw line extended, and he makes it. So back and forth action now, right now, 47-46 for Shawnee.
Under 4 to play.
Here's Cisse for 3, no good. Rebound inside for Williams. Back it in.
Timeout, Newark Eastside.
So 30-second timeout call by Newark. Up by 1, 48-47. We're going to keep it here. 3:50 to go here in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, Newark Eastside has been able to control the ball a little bit better than Shawnee here in the second half. But Shawnee has switched back into what they were doing defensively and prevented the pace of play that Newark Eastside was running through that second and third quarter that basically got them back into this game. That's why we're seeing a lot of this back forth play now. Both teams are running high octane fuel.
Looking at the foul situation right now, both teams have 6 fouls, and the guys that are in foul trouble right now is for Newark Eastside is Anos Amos, and also for Shawnee, Kane Feutner with 4, Dylan Devaney with 4, and Dean Knoll has 3. So one of the more important guys right now on both sides in foul trouble, looking to steer clear of the ball, but at the same time play some aggressive defense as well, and try to get either team back and possibly hold off one another for the last couple minutes of the game.
They just put the Shawnee videographer up on the Jumbotron. He was dancing away and got a rise out of this very pro-Shawnee crowd.
Dylan Devaney, Connor Devaney, trying to look for something good here. He's getting pressed big time by Mika Johnson. Looking for a 5-second call. Not going to get it that time. Shawnee will reset here with Knoll. Nice scoop and basket for Knoll that time.
Well, with the way this fourth quarter has gone, it's almost going to be whoever has last possession might end up having the championship.
Fake on the 3 that time. And the extended basket, so to say, for Shamir Johnson. 50-49. 1-point game. It's been like that for a while here.
And Anas Amos over there on the sideline getting a little restless. I think he wants back in this thing, knowing the title might be coming. Jump ball and possession arrow stays to Shawnee.
Aggressive play that time from Knoll, and one of the east side players is down. It looks like that's Karan Williams. Looks like he hit the floor pretty hard. The trainer from Newark East Side trying to check up on him. It looks like he's okay, getting up slowly. And Amos will check back in now for Williams. With 2:34 left to go here in the fourth quarter. And before we play any more basketball, we're going to get timeout from Shawnee. And it's going to be a full timeout. So with that timeout, we're going to take a break here on the NFHS Network, and we're going to come back with the Group 4 championship in just a moment. back here at the rack for the NJSIAA Group 4 Boys Basketball Championship. Larry Courtney with Matt Jolis. Newark up by 150-49 with 2:34 left to go in the fourth quarter. Dylan Devaney, who got shut out in the second quarter, leads Shawnee with 16 points right now, while D. Knoll has 12 points. For Newark Eastside, Karan Williams has 14, and Anos Amos, who has actually played a very aggressive game defensively, has 7 points, but he might be the key here with 4 fouls for Newark Eastside.
Yeah, and both teams 1 away from the bonus as well, too. So next foul is going to put either team on the line. So it's going to have to be some very smart play from these two teams down the stretch.
Shawnee inbounds here with Feutner. And some contact there between Knoll and Johnson as Devaney goes up. No good. Loose ball. Robinson recovers. Finds Devaney in front. Basket is good. Spun around a little bit, but finally went in. Now Shawnee with a 1-point lead, 51-50. Looks like we've been saying that the entire quarter, Matt.
Yeah, back forth, 1 point. Somebody either has to get a stop or somebody's going to hit a 3 or you're going to get a foul. That's going to have to be the way to flip this game around.
Here's Amos with a left-handed basket.
And a 30-second timeout now called by Newark Eastside. Both of these teams, I have a feeling, in this last 2 minutes here are going to empty their tanks in terms of timeouts because of the nature of this game. You have to set something special to be able to get this stop.
So it looks like Amos is trying to take this team on its back right now as he's providing that inside-outside presence just in terms of just being aggressive going to the hoop. And, again, with 4 fouls, he doesn't necessarily have to go for the steal every time, but just play aggressive, get into the minds of Shawnee as they've done pretty much from the second quarter on. It's been more or less, I would say, Newark's ball, but basically in terms of it being going to their advantage, unlike what we saw in the first quarter where Newark didn't seem like they were, still kind of in their morning mode. They kind of were asleep at the wheel for a little bit.
Right, exactly. And, we talked about this on the lead-in for Newark Eastside. This is their first time here at this state championship game. They're looking for that elusive golden crown to bring home to Newark. Shawnee wants to bring it back. They were here last year. They lost in that game. They haven't won it since '96. They're looking to get that 6th crown in school history. But it has been one game of emotions from the opening tip-off.
So it's gone from a barn burner to an instant classic, if you want to call it that.
Well, we're in March. It's fitting of March Madness, even at the high school level.
Yep, especially with the selection show coming up later on tonight. But we got our own championships right here. Devaney loses the ball. Feutner gets it back. And Coach Kessler was looking for a foul. Didn't get any call there.
Was that potentially the stop that Newark Eastside needed to create that little bit of distance?
Amos looking to draw the foul. Not getting them. And now the foul is going to be called. Looks like that's going to be on Devon Robinson. Devon Robinson.
And Amos is gimpy on the sideline now.
Looks like he's tough to tell if he's favoring possibly the left arm, possibly. Looks
or an ankle or something.
Yeah, can't tell. But that's not going to be good if they can't have Amos in the game the rest of the way. Meanwhile, Hassan Stacey at the line for 2 misses the first one. Tell you, if they lose Amos for the rest of this game, Newark is in big trouble. Even up by 1.
Right, we talked about it with him sitting with 4 fouls, but now going down to injury, it's just the same. You're losing your key guy.
And Cisse makes the second free throw. Newark does take a 2-point lead here with a minute and a half to go.
Now we've kicked off the seesaw to where we're going to go tie lead.
That's right, unless you hit a 3 ball here. Robinson looking for it, and you'll give it back to Knoll. Again, no shot clock here, so Shawnee can take as much time as they'd like. Spread the ball around, give it to Robinson. Robinson gets it corner, Feutner. Jumper, no good, side of the rim. Devaney couldn't handle the rebound. And the ball is going to stay with Shawnee.
Took a long time for them to make that call, but the referees were absolutely right. Look on the rebound, and it just comes right off of both players' hands, but it was the east side hand that was on the inside. Perfect call by the referees.
Looks like it made it went off of Hassan Sisi's hands. But that fingertip. Under a minute to go. 2-point game here. Noel being guarded by Williams.
They can take this all the way down and go last shot to try to tie the game, or they could tie it, but they have to be very cognizant of how much time they leave left on the clock for a run by East Side.
Here's Noel. Getting into the pressure, pulls it back out. Here's Devaney. Back to Noel with 24 seconds to go. And the crowd getting on its feet. Noel going to the left hand. Loses the ball over to Devaney, who puts it in, but they say the foul is on the floor.
No shot, but they're going to go to the line for 1-and-1. Number 11 is going to get called. It's going to be Hassan Sisi for the push foul, and they're going to go to the line for 1-and-1.
Dean Noel will go here for the 1-and-1. Enos Amos is still at the bench. Looks like he's no chance that he's going to come back right now as Noel hits the first of the 1-and-1. And we're going to get a timeout here from Newark Eastside. It's going to be a full timeout.
So we've got a final from Group 1 down in Toms River. University 73, Bound Brook 37. University capturing that Group 1 state championship on the girls' side. And that is amazing considering it was 33-22 at the half.
So an amazing comeback that time in the girls' championship right here at Piscataway. It's a 53-52 ball game. 1-point lead in favor of Newark. So Newark called the timeout. They are down to one timeout while Shawnee still has two. And again, Enos Amos being treated on the bench. And he's not even in the huddle right now, Matt. He's still at the end of the bench. It doesn't seem like he's going to be back in this game right now for the time being.
No, and you can just get that sense of it, of how dejected a player is. Head just is buried inside of his jersey, and he's getting wrapped up by the trainer, which means he's done for the night. And this is probably a very serious injury and very unfortunate to see any time in a season, but especially in a state championship game and at a key moment in the state championship game.
It appears it might have been the left ankle. We were figuring out if it was the ankle or the arm, but he's getting the ankle taped up as we speak. But the way things are going right now, it looks like Amos might be out of the game.
And a pivotal shot for Shawnee right here.
So Dino back at the line for the back end of the 1-and-1, trying to tie this game up. And he misses it. Rebound to Devaney. He puts it in.
Holy cow. Devaney needed to make a run from no man's land. He came right back in.
Newark Eastside has 6 seconds to put the final shot up. They give it across, and the foul is going to be called on Connor Devaney with 2.7 to go.
There is a very large possibility, and I'd like to see the replay on this, and it's going to come up right in front of me. I think there may have been a travel that was missed. The ball came out. There was no step. There was no travel missed. That is a good call by the referee. Devaney came right down on top of him.
This is the Andre Spade here in front of the ruckus Shawnee students with the two shots, and he misses the first. So the crowd on both sides.
A blowout has turned into literally, this is a Hollywood movie right now. You can't script this.
Here's Spate with the second free throw attempt. They're trying to tie this game up. And he misses that. Rebound by No. And he gets fouled.
Shawnee's going to win. Unbelievable.
There's still 0.7 seconds left. But Dean No will go to the line for a 1-and-1.
The foul gets called on Hassan Sisi on the rebound. Eastside's going to call a 30-second timeout, but Shawnee is going to have a 1-and-1 with 0.7 seconds left to play after 2 missed free throws from Eastside, as you said, right in front of raucous Shawnee student section. Absolutely unbelievable.
What an intense 15 seconds we just witnessed that time.
But Dylan Devaney, who had been the man through the first quarter, all of a sudden shut down and then comes back and makes the play of the year for Shawnee, coming out of nowhere to get the rebound and the putback to put Shawnee up 54-53.
So Devaney, who has been a huge factor here most of the game, again getting shut out in the second quarter, right now with 18 points. But it's Dino right here to try to put this one away with 0.7 to go with the 1-and-1. All the Shawnee players have stepped off the line. You wonder if Noah's going to try to intentionally miss this to try to just get the clock run out. But he makes that one to make it a 2-point game.
Yeah, if you're Shawnee, really, you don't want to try to leave anything possible to happen. You want to just put this to bed.
And he makes that one, and it's a 3-point game at 0.7. Eastside will put the ball up, and that will do it. Newark Eastside with a great comeback, but Shawnee are your Group 4 NJSIAA boys basketball champions as the crowd storms onto the court to celebrate the championship for Shawnee. After losing last year to Linden, they defeat Newark Eastside 56-53.
Shawnee first state championship since 1996 in their 7th appearance in the state championship game. What an amazing story they're going to have to be able to talk about how this game went.
15 points for Dean Knoll in the championship victory. And Dylan Devaney had 18 points as well, as the starting 5 from last year who fell short of winning a championship does get their championship this year. Once again, hard-fought effort by Newark Eastside, but again, losing Anos Amos during those last 2 minutes was a blow to the Red Raiders.
It was a huge blow, but one thing for Newark Eastside, this was their first trip ever into a state championship game. They've got a story to be able to tell about how they played this game even. And then especially, you look down their roster at how many of these guys have 2019 or 2020 on their roster, and you think about what they've got on this varsity roster, what their JV and freshman roster is going to look like. They have an opportunity here to be back for the next couple of years, and they're building something over at Newark Eastside.
You can see Anos Amos actually with the being carried off the floor. He's got the ice wrapped around his right ankle. He cannot even walk off the court. Once again, a big blow to Newark Eastside. Tremendous effort by Amos trying to lead the team on his back, but unfortunately because of the injury, it was to no avail.
Would you have thought at the end of the first quarter when we were sitting at 25-7 that we would be talking about a 56-53 Shawnee final 30 minutes later?
No, not at all. Not at all. The way that things worked out after the second quarter, it was anybody's game. And again, during like I would say, I don't know, maybe the last 5 or 6 minutes or so of that fourth quarter when it was back and forth, it was a 1-point game for Shawnee, 1-point game for Newark, going back and forth. Anybody's ball game. But again, losing Amos, I'm sure you could agree to this as well, Matt, that was huge. And nobody else could have really gotten them back. Karan Williams did finish with 14 points off the bench for Newark Eastside. But Shawnee, your 2018 Group 4 champions here in New Jersey.
Well, thanks for tuning into this game versus Shawnee against Newark Eastside. We have 3 more games left to go. Coming up is going to be the Group 2 championship game. Newark Central taking on Haddonfield. That's going to come up at 2 o'clock. We're going to call it out here on the NFHS network. See you then.